you know, this stuff is genetically modified. We don't test it on human beings. Okay, we have some animal studies. We're going to test it on your child. So here, try this. I'm okay with that, but make the parents aware of it. Of course, you know, your kid will develop asthma and hypersensitivity to the mucous membranes. The fast-growing cells are going to be mutated, and it can negatively affect his health in the long run. But tell him, you know, that would be okay. And then when you know that 90% of soy products are genetically modified, have you seen the human experiments on this? No, there isn't any. Okay, so what's neat about this is any genetically modified stuff, and this is the top big four, and this is what's in every product. It's corn, soy, canola, and cottonseed oil. The four big oils that are used in virtually every packaged product. Okay, those four are the most common genetically modified, and they have different proteins in there. All allergies are a sensitivity to protein. Remember we're talking about when we're talking about diseases, how systemic inflammation causes it? This means that if proteins get into your bloodstream or get into the tissue and your body recognizes it as foreign, it causes inflammation. So when you look at the animal studies, you know, small brain, small testicles, the agency that's responsible for our health says, well, we're not really aware. The agency is unaware of information showing these foods derived from these methods differ from, in any meaningful way or uniform way, from regular food. So they haven't been proved to be dangerous. Other countries, there's 27 countries around the world that have banned our products because they haven't been proved to be safe. So maybe we got an excess of people that we don't really care if they get wiped out a bit, but we know that mice are smart enough to avoid eating them. We know that in the animal studies that it causes infertility, decreased immune system. But I like this. It causes cholesterol synthesis problems, okay, in animals. That means if that happened in a human being, we'd see cancer rates and dementia skyrocket. It causes a change in insulin regulation. If that was happening in humans, we'd see an epidemic of diabetes. So what is our population going through today? 50% diabetes if you're an ethnic origin. If you're Caucasian, you only have 30%. Okay. But when you look at the other thing, cholesterol synthesis and epidemic of Alzheimer's, epidemic of cancer. So there's something wrong with how we're treating either the health system or not. So then we can look at omegas. How's it coming, Laura?
Really good.
Yeah? Yeah. You still got like 5 minutes? You tell me.
Yeah, they all need to be stirred.
Okay, that's okay. You keep telling me. We're doing something behind the curtain. Don't pay attention to the person behind the curtain.
I don't want to be a test subject.
She is the great Oz. Don't mess with her. Okay, so when you look at this, you've heard of omega-6 to 3 ratios, okay? Now, everyone knows omega-3s, but there should be a balance. You need both. You typically need about a 1-to-1 ratio of it. The problem is, if you take a cow and raise it from a little cow to a full-grown steer so it can slaughter, and you take 5 years and you feed that cow grass and you let them run free and you don't give them antibiotics, you got a healthy animal. The meat out of that animal has about a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. And that's a healthy animal. That's healthy, a healthy product. Buffaloes, it's about the same, you know, fish are the same. But it would be expensive. So now here's one. If you take that same little calf, you can grow it to full-grown market in 13 months. You have to feed it corn. Now the cow's system is not designed to eat corn or process corn. It's like force-feeding a child Snicker bars. So they get sick as all heck. So to keep the creature alive, we pump him full of antibiotics because since he's inundated with sugar, he's going to have multiple infections. But if we give him a lot of poisonous mold, which is antibiotics, it's going to keep the creature alive to where we can slaughter him. Now, since he's sick and he's raised with poor food and poor medicines, his meat is going to have a huge change in the omega-3 to 6 ratio. Okay, so it's going to be like poisonous. Now, a healthy diet, and this is all the food you choose, and this is how you need to start choosing food. Choosing food. Not say, oh my God, I'm craving those corn chips. Okay, actually choosing food. What is the omega-3 to 6 ratio in this? Oh, it's good. It's like 3 to 1 or 1 to 1. I should eat it. This is what my body's going to be. I mean, if you look back in the old days, my gosh, we used to pray over food. Do you know why? Because it's going to become in us. I mean, you could say it's also thanking God for bringing it down, but this food is actually going to become you. So it's very, very important. Now, disease starts at around 8 to 1 ratio, 8 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. The American diet's about 20 to 1. Okay, so the average American is guaranteed to get an inflammatory disease. The average American is guaranteed to get an inflammatory disease. Now, we can approach this 2 different ways. One way, we can actually change the diet into a healthy system to where you reproduce yourself healthy, or as your body adapts to the poisonous environment, we can give you medications to change your physiology. I know it doesn't sound smart. Okay, if the arteries are inflamed and they're getting smaller and you develop higher blood pressure, do we change the diet, give you soluble fibers, clean the arteries, and change your diet, or do we give you a drug to slow your heart down? It's just foolishness. And then when you look at this, corn oil 60 to 1. Just for shits and giggles, I mean, go to the supermarket, okay? Now, when you look down the aisles, you know how they say you live healthier if you walk around the outside? Look at the inside. It's nothing but corn. If you look at corn flakes, obviously that's corn. If you look at oatmeal, that's corn. If you look at ketchup, what is it? Corn. High fructose corn syrup is in virtually every product. I mean, you start looking at it, you can say that, but when you look at it, it's corn syrup solids, high fructose corn syrup. And then look at the preservatives, cottonseed oil, soy oil. That's in virtually every package. The reason it's every aisle is made of corn. And you got to start looking at this. Corn, canola, soy, the 4 big genetically modified products. This is why it's so phenomenally profitable. 77 to 1. And these are the dangerous ones. Then you start looking at grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is a healthy oil if it's cold pressed. If it's not cold pressed, it's deadly, because they actually use certain detergents to draw oils out of the seeds, and then in order to get rid of the detergent, they got to burn it. So when we look at this, the diseases associated with an imbalance in omega-3s. This is all it is. It means you take a human. Let's experiment on children. No. You take a human and you feed them high omega-6 diet. What do they end up with? Cardiovascular disease, cancer, inflammatory diseases. This is like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, virtually every autoimmune disorder, fibromyalgia. I mean, it's crazy. Now, since we know our population has it, let's reverse it. Disease is absolutely reversible. Cardiovascular disease can be reversed at a 4 to 1 ratio. So let's say you have somebody with a heart disease, like my patient this morning, who eats nothing for breakfast, then he eats his omega-6 loaded burger, and then he eats, nothing for dinner, and I'm sure he's eating something for dinner. You got to know that. He just scared to tell me. So what do? I say, look, go out there. Make sure nothing you eat is over a 3 to 1 ratio or 4 to 1 ratio, and you're going to reverse the disease. So I sent him down to Mother's Market. I told him, I said, you're going to put this and this and this and this in it. Are you ready, Laura?
Yeah.
No, you got one more slide. You're doing way good.
Oh,
okay. Let's say they have colorectal cancer. Now, knowing that the lining in the colon is replaced every 24 hours, knowing that the colon is one of the fastest reproducing organs you got. Okay, you have colorectal cancer? Beautiful, let's reverse it. You've got to get a very low, like 1 to 1 or 2 to 1 ratio of omega-3s, and this will start to reverse the disease. Rheumatoid arthritis and asthma, 5 to 1. You start looking at this and you go, wait a second. So your body is always rebuilding. And then when you look at it, if you cut yourself, can you ever stop the healing? No, the cells reproduce. Why? Because you're causing inflammation. These are inflammatory diseases. Your body's doing the best it can to survive. It's the best it can to rebuild itself. And you're not giving it the stuff. That's criminal. Then we got this. Almost, Laura. Okay, We got super omega-3 rich foods, okay? And so this is ideal. Hemp seeds. I was so prejudiced of this one, okay? Pumpkin seeds, chia, I mean, just normal healthy stuff. Even animal products, as long as they're grass-fed, but that shouldn't be like a staple. Chia seeds. Chia seeds. Okay, that's the clue. Okay, well, what we're doing, okay, and we had this is so good. Okay, we had this at one of the food seminars. This is organic chia seeds mixed with a little bit of organic almond milk. Now, the spoon is also, what is it? Petroleum-free and biodegradable, made out of genetically, no BPA, it's non-genetically modified plant plastic. I know. You know, you gotta be like really, oh, perfect. Okay. So now, what Lori did is she put just 2 tablespoons in there of the chia seeds. They expand 9 to 10 times. Okay, so we let it sit and stir it up a little bit, but this is actually just 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of chia seeds.
And you got it with almond milk.
With almond milk. Oh my God, that's good.
Organic almond milk.
Yeah, so this is actually a day's. So if you don't like it, oh my gosh.
This is a day's portion?
Yeah, a day's portion. Although
Of omega.
I put that much of omega-3. Although I put that in my morning drink, in my dinner drink, or in my lunch drink, and I just had some now. So
Overdose?
yeah. Well, I mean, you got to figure. I mean, I'm up here, 5 o'clock in the morning. I go till about 8:30 at night. So the Aztecs used to use it for hunting, because what's neat is it absorbs the fluid in this. It absorbs the fluid in your body, so it slowly leaches out the electrolytes and fluid, so you have incredible endurance. But also, I like the idea of reversing any kind of disease, and I figure if it's got a 1-to-1 ratio, I'm going to be reversing any damage that I get from Fukushima. And we're going to go over this in the first weekend in June on one of the detoxing. This right here is the daily food that you are going to take in order to protect yourself from cell damage. And you're going to find out radiation is only cells breaking down. If your cells build up as fast as they break down, you're going to survive and thrive. But when you look at this, what it does, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and don't think, well, you have high blood pressure, take the chia seeds. Think you got high blood pressure, you have systemic inflammation, you've got closing off the arteries, you got some type of tissue damage. You need to rebuild your body healthy. You need something with a healthy omega-3 to 6 ratio. And if you could do that in one breath, that would be a good idea. But you do it with the same thing. Acid reflux, cardiac health, colon health. No, you don't have a colon problem. You get a problem with the arteries and the tissue in there. You have toxicity or deficiency. You've been exposed yourself to too many omega-6s to omega-3s. We need to change your omega-3 to 6 ratio. Then your body is going to, since it's going to reproduce itself anyway, it's going to reproduce itself healthy. God, that makes sense. This was my prejudice. Okay, when I saw hemp seeds at the health food store, when I saw hemp seeds, I'm thinking whacked out hippie, they're just trying to put drugs in our system. I am prejudiced, okay, against this. Then I start looking into it, and I think, wait a second, oh my gosh, there's no THC in it, so you're not going to get stoned from eating hemp seeds. But why? Why is it there? Look at this. It's the highest essential fatty acid of any food available. The highest, the number one. And then you start looking at it, heart disease. Hemp seed oil matches your skin almost exactly, the fats in the skin. So for acne, psoriasis, and how easy is this? I mean, from a doctor's perspective, I get people with psoriasis. That means they've had horrible blood supply for years. They've got kidney issues because that's where the skin gets reproduced. And what am I going to do? Recommend a steroid cream? Like some malpractice doctor? I think that's what MD stands for. Okay, you're not going to do that. That's foolish. Any type of skin disorder is not a skin disorder. It's a problem of deficiency or toxicity. Your body's trying to eliminate that. And For pregnant moms, I can't recommend fish because fish are mercury toxic, particularly if you're developing a fetus, because kids, particularly when they're inside, they're very neurologically sensitive. So you can't have neurotoxins. That's why any doctor that shoots a pregnant woman with a flu shot needs to be shot himself. 9mm, 22, that would be all appropriate. Well, you know, close range. Okay, so your whole body is build up or break down. And if your body builds up faster than it breaks down, you're going to survive. Okay, and you're going to thrive. If it breaks down faster than your build up, you're going to have a dis-ease. So all dis-eases are your body breaking down faster than it's